All right, so welcome to this week's Wealth Church. I gave you guys a little clip of of uh, this show called Explain, which I want you guys to watch, which I'll give you more information about that in a few minutes. All right. All right, so today we're talking about digital assets. So what I want to do is, again, I want to always give you the information, and then I want to give you the how-to. So I'm gonna give you the information. We're gonna talk about the difference between assets and liabilities. I think sometimes we get confused and think that certain type of ownership is an asset. So I don't want anybody to be confused about assets and liabilities. So I'm gonna break that down for you. And then Mr. Wall Street is gonna join me, and then he's going to show you how to open your digital wallet. Those of you that are moving over to crypto with us, or just want to learn more about crypto from people that have made millions in the industry. So I think that, today I want to do it a little different. I know some people believe in certain type of religions, but today I hope that we all believe that there is some God. I want to start out with prayer, and then we will move into the Wealth Church. I feel like it's someone out there that is going through something, and I want to just send the word up for you. So right now, I just want to say thank you. I want to say thank you for a new day. I want to say thank you for life. I want to say thank you for love. I want to say thank you for protection. I want to say thank you for us having an open mind to learn new things that might be new to us and might be outside of our comfort zone. But I want to say thank you, God, for allowing us to learn and sending people to teach us so that we can grow and so that we can inherit the kingdom that you have declared for us, a kingdom of milk and honey, a kingdom of provisions, a kingdom of that overflows, a kingdom where our kids don't have to lack, and where we can create abundance for our children and our children's children. You said that you gave us the power to get wealth. So your word says that if two or three shall come together and agree on anything, that you are in the midst. So I know that you're here. And I know that someone right now is lacking hope and lacking faith and lacking the ability to believe that their dreams can come true. But right now, I declare that their dreams will come true. I declare that someone right now is having thoughts of suicide, but I command right now that they will not kill themselves. And when they look back on their lives, they'll realize that you have a greater purpose for them alive than in the grave. So I just say thank you. I say thank you in advance for us getting the knowledge that we need to be prosperous and to create wealth and to close the wealth gap in our community. In the name of Jesus, I pray, amen. All right.
Amen.
All right. Thanks everybody for rocking with me today. It's been a long week. Let's start with, can I get 10 affirmations? The truth is, I am going to be a billionaire. The truth is, I am going to be in the Forbes magazine before the end of the year. The truth is I will help 100 people in my community to become wealthy and to become millionaires just like me. The truth is that I will not buy liabilities, I will buy assets. The truth is I will always have an open mind to new things and new opportunities and new investments. And I will never get content with where I am or what I have or what I know. I will always want to learn new things. All right, somebody else. Truth is.
The truth is, I'm in every room. I'm blessed, but my feet just have not been planted in that room yet. The truth is, I will magnify the Lord at all times. The truth is, I will have generational wealth for my children's children. The truth is that I just believe that God makes a way out of no way.
Give me 8 more. Truth is. Speak over your life. Speak over your dreams. The truth is.
The truth is. That's determined me and no one else, and I can do all things through God.
Hey. 7 more. Truth is.
Truth is, I will reach millionaire status by June 30th of next year.
Hey. Truth is. Keep going.
Truth is, I am a God-fearing man. The truth is, I will commit to my community and be a better person. Truth is, I will make millionaires wherever I go.
Hey. The truth is. 5 more.
Truth is, I will leave a legacy for my children and generational wealth and teach my family generational wealth.
4 more. Truth is.
Truth is, I will be successful in everything I do. Truth is that I will be very wealthy and leave generational wealth to my family, my children, their children.
3 more. The truth is. Speak over your life.
Truth is, I can do all things through Christ Jesus.
Yes, that strengthens you. The truth is. 2 more.
Truth is, I'm learning different so I can do different. And truth is, I will build wealth for my family and the generations following.
Hey, 2 more. Truth is.
Truth is, I'm the head and not the tail. Truth is, I will be a lender and not a borrower.
Yeah.
Truth is, I missed last Thursday's meeting, but I listened to it yesterday and I realized all the stuff I had was wrong, and I'm glad that I'm learning more and more every day.
1 more. Truth is. One more. Truth is. Come on, family. Come on, family. Truth is.
I'll go. Truth is, I will break cycles. I will continue to be a student and learn. I will continue to take everything you taught me and become the beast and just be great, and to continue to bless other women and have, you know, I will break generational curses as well over my kids' life, and they will never be broke. And I will never be broke another day in my life.
I think we all should say that. I look in the mirror every day and I say, the truth is, DeMont, you will never experience poverty again. So right now, I need everybody to speak after me and say, the truth is, I will never experience poverty again in my life.
Truth is, I will never experience poverty.
I will never experience poverty another day in my life.
Hey, all right. All right, so today we have Mr. Wall Street. I'm gonna set him up, but again, I want to make sure that you guys have all the information. I want to make sure that you know the difference between assets and liabilities. So I'm gonna break that down for you, right? All right, so we're gonna talk about digital assets, and as talking about assets, you have to break up what digital is and then what assets are. So I got to show you right now, real quick. I'm gonna show you what assets are and what liabilities are. I think many of us invest in liabilities, and I want to show you how you invest in those liabilities and why you should invest in assets, whatever that is. And we're gonna break down what assets are. So I think my motto is that you got to stay away from people that are still people. So they're still complaining, they're still broke, they're still hating, they're still losing, they're still not making a change, they're still living in the past, they're still making excuses. When you surround, we are a product of our environment. And when you surround yourself by people that enable you to stay where you are, that is the first step to being complacent. So you have to change your friends. You have to sometimes change your family. You have to change. You can't always be in the in crowd. People say, DeMont, how did you become so successful? DeMont, how are you where you are? Well, because I work. I refuse to be out work. When my friends were going to the club, I couldn't go to the club. When my friends were going to pop bottles, I couldn't go pop bottles. When my friends were going out to concerts, I couldn't go out to concerts. I was working. And still to this day, it's the same thing. So you have to set time aside for yourself, as we talked about on Wednesday, on Thursday in the masterclass. And a beautiful young lady said, you know, I'm addicted to making money, but I know that I have a dream. I've been working for 12 hours. I've worked 12 hours a day. I just don't have time to work on my dream. So again, I just told somebody this morning, the same 24 hours that Jay-Z has, the same 24 hours that that Dr. Dre has, who are billionaires, the same 24 hours that that Oprah Winfrey has, the same 24 hours that Tyler Perry has is the same 24 hours that you have. You determine what you do in those 24 hours. Either you're going to self-educate yourself, either you're going to learn how to do different things, and you're going to understand where you put your money, or you're going to stay the same. All right, so we got to change our surroundings. All right, so this is my scripture today. Regardless of your current circumstances, for we live by faith and not by sight. For we live by faith and not by sight. For we live by faith and not by sight. For we live by faith and not by sight should be the motto of your life. It should be the mantra of your day. You cannot live by sight. Sight is what you can see. You have to live by faith. Someone told me last week the definition of faith was the faith is the substance of things hoped for, and the evidence of things not seen. So it's understanding that I can't see it, but I have to believe it. So if we're talking about wealth, and we're talking about breaking generational curses, and we're talking about living our dream lives, and we're talking about building multi-million and billion-dollar businesses, and we're talking about changing our communities, and we're talking about changing generations, we have to have faith. We can't see it. We have to have faith. We can't see it. So when you're living and when you're writing down your dreams and when you're speaking your affirmations, I shouldn't have to beg you to say what your affirmation is. Speak over your life any chance you get, in the grocery store, in Wealth Church, in master classes, at work, amongst your friends, wherever you can. Speak over your life. You might not be able to see it right now, but by faith, I believe that I'll never be broke again. By faith, I believe that any land that my feet tread on, it can be mine. By faith, I believe that I might not have the money for the building or for the business. But if I go out there and I believe it and I look at it and I walk around it and I proclaim it's mine, it can be mine. I'm a living witness of it. I wanted a building. It was $500,000. I didn't have all the money. I didn't have none of the money. I went every day, sat in the parking lot, believing that it was mine. And eventually it became mine. A door opened and it allowed me to get the funding for me to buy that building. So you got to believe it. That's faith. Faith is saying, I don't know how it's going to happen, but if I manifest it, we talked about manifestation last week. If I manifest it, I believe that it's for me, but I have to first write it down. The Bible says you have to write the vision. I have to write my vision. If I have to post it all over my house and it becomes my wallpaper, people might think I'm crazy, but that's my vision. I believe that I can have whatever I want. And you got to believe that. All right. So I'm not judging. Because what people do is what people do. I'm not judging. I have a past. I've never smoked weed. I've never snorted cocaine. I've never been addicted to drugs for many reasons. Because I don't, I just haven't. I've sold it, but I've never experienced it because I feel like I have an addictive spirit. And if I smoke weed, I would smoke weed every single day, and I would smoke weed all day. And I would probably smoke the best weed there is. And it would probably make me tired and I wouldn't be as productive. So for my own reasons, I don't smoke. But for those of you that smoke marijuana or cigarettes or cocaine, snort coke, whatever it is that's your choice, I'm not here to judge you. I proclaim that you understand where your money is. So if you're telling me that you're broke, but you have a habit that you embrace daily or weekly or monthly, you have to add that up at some point. So let's do the math on some of you that smoke weed. And I'm not judging because most people around me smoke weed. But again, we got to know where our money goes. And if we're broke and we don't have the franchise that we're believing for, we don't have the business that we're believing for, then it might not mean that we need to make more money. It might mean that we might need to stop some of the habits that are causing us to stay still and stay where we are. So 2 grams of weed, $20. 5 people times $20, that's $100, right? So 1 whole day of smoking weed with between 5 people is $100. 365 days, that's the 5 people that are in your group. So 365 days times 100 is $36,000. If the 5 of you invested in group economics and put that money into a pool instead of smoking it, you would have $36,500. That's enough to buy a Subway franchise. So we got to understand where our money is and quit saying we're broke and we don't have money. We have resources. We come from a lineage of people that are resourceful. We know how to paint. We know how to do masonry. We know how to do electricity. We might not even have a license, but we know how to do it. We know how to lay floors. We know how to do roofing. We know how to put in windows. We know how to do a whole lot of things that could be resourceful, and that really is a business. So I'm gonna break down the 2 types of assets: intangible assets and tangible assets. So intangible assets, which many of you should start trademarking your ideas and start copywriting your graphics and things that your names that you have in place. Those are all assets over time. Patents, assets. Brand recognition, assets. I know people that just buy URLs. They just buy them. Over time, they make the money. They make a lot of money just because people need those URLs for those businesses, so they buy them. All right, tangible assets are stocks, real estate, cash, and equipment. Those are all tangible assets. All right, so assets produce cash flow. Can someone give me a definition of an asset?
A house.
Well,
I knew y'all that was gonna be the first one y'all said. How is a house? What makes a house an asset?
Well, with the community where it's located, location.
When it's income
A house,
property.
a free and clear house.
Economy.
Yes, there we go. All right.
A useful or valuable thing, person, or quality.
I'm sorry, what did you say? All right.
I said a useful or valuable thing, person, or quality.
Yes. So a house is an asset when it's income producing, which is a rental property, or it's free and clear. All right. So, which makes it an asset. I feel, I'm gonna take this off for a second while we talk about houses. All right, so I feel, this is my opinion, I'm not a financial manager, I'm just a wealth coach, all right? So I feel that for so long, we didn't have equality, and we don't still now, but as far as like redlining and stuff like that, it still exists, but not as much as it did. So we've been separated for so long as a culture. So because we've been separated, when we were able to move into suburbs, into areas where our kids could go to the same schools as other ethnicities, then we took advantage of that. But I feel no one ever told us that ownership required certain steps. Ownership is not going to max out a mortgage because they say they're going to give you a $500,000 mortgage and you're going to try to find a house for $500,000 in, and then you end up to where the house is now controlling you and it's still not an asset. And then how many of us stay somewhere for 30 years? So my team knows how I feel about home ownership. I have multiple houses. I've invested in houses since I was 20 years old. I flipped houses. I understand real estate. But I believe that we missed a step. And saying we missed the step means the first thing we try to do when we can get it is to get a house. But a house to me should come after the investments. So to me, I shouldn't get a house just because I can get approved for a house. I should continue to rent. I should rent wherever I rent. The lease should be in my business name. I should rent from my business. That'd be a tax break. I'm going to get an immediate benefit. I believe that passive income, this is how I believe, and all of you have the right to believe how you believe. My team knows how I believe. So I believe that our passive income and residual income should pay for our house. I believe that the first step, if a bank's going to give you $250,000 or $500,000, I believe that should go into a multifamily or buying more than one door so that you can get an income producing property instead of tying it up in one door where you don't know if that value is going to go up. You don't know what the neighborhood is going to do. And most Black people, let's just be honest, most of our great grandparents or our grandparents or even our aunts and our uncles that have houses, they never all the way paid them off. So because they had to get second mortgages, or someone got in trouble and they need to get a lien against the house so they can get them out, or they need to update the windows and they needed to do a new roof, or the air conditioning went out, so they had to take out a second mortgage or a loan. So is a house really the first big investment that we should make, or should it be me taking the money that the bank is going to give me and producing cash flow? That's just a question we don't have to talk about right now. We talk about it another time. But I want for you to understand how I feel about that. All right. So examples of cash flow producing assets are stocks, bonds, businesses, and rental properties. Those are all cash flow. Those are assets. All right. You see, it does not say a house or a car. All right. It doesn't say a house or a car. So your house is not giving you ownership. It's not when you do your profit and loss statement, your house is a loss. All right. Your house is a loss unless you have a certain amount of equity, which is very rare. All right. And then even if you have a certain amount of equity, if our market turns around and we go into a plunge, your equity now decreases. So how do you leverage your equity, or how do you leverage the credit that you have, or how do you everything that you have should be leveraged into investing into cash flow. All right. Liabilities. Liabilities are cars, houses, boats, cable TV. All of that's liability. All right. So every billionaire has these four assets. They have businesses, they have commodities, they have real estate, and they have paper, which are stocks, bonds, mutual funds. I showed you a few weeks ago how to set up your brokerage account so that you can start getting your mutual funds, right? All right, so all of you should have that. If you don't, we need to start that process. You need to go back and watch Wealth Church a few weeks ago. All right, so here's an example. If you have $15,000 in your savings and you decide to go buy a new car, you would be spending your money on a liability, okay? It's not an investment because it's going to decrease. If you keep the old car you have, and I own a car dealership, so and that's the reason why I bought it, because I want to be able to teach people how to refinance, how to get out of bad debt, how to get out of these car banks that are set up for you to fail, and take all your money for 20 years for these cars that you're never going to own because of the high interest rates, and how you can transform just buying a car and allow it to work for you. All right, so if you keep your old car and you put that same $15,000 in an investment, your annual return will be 7 to 16%. All right, 1 year down the road, your portfolio now will be worth $16,800. Your car will have depreciated 19%. Now, being only worth $12,150. So now it's decreasing. So I know the first thing that when I fix somebody's credit, the first thing they want to do is go buy a car. The first thing. But why do the middle class want to buy depreciating items, and why do the upper class choose to put their money in investments and drive cars that are paid off in older models? All right, so $60,000 spent, 15% depreciation per year. So that $60,000 car, that Benz, that BMW, that Audi, that Maserati, all them cars y'all driving, over a period of time, now it's worth $19,235, about 5 years. All right, rich people or wealthy-minded people, all of you are wealthy-minded, they take that same $60,000, invest it over 10% over 7 years, and they made $116,923. They have it in assets over time. All right, so the rich do not work for their money. They make their money work for them. The rich invest their assets rather than liabilities, so they understand the difference between assets and liability. When you sit at the tables that God is about to prepare you to sit at, do not sit at the tables talking about acquisitions, about I want a bigger house, or I want to move into a bigger community, or that's not an asset. All right? That's not an asset. Just understand that's not an asset. All right, so you got to understand the difference between assets and liabilities. The rich invest in assets rather than liabilities so that they can passively produce more wealth, not lose more wealth. Think about it. If you focus your money on assets rather than liabilities, you will multiply your wealth much faster. You may think you need that flashy car, or you want to move into a bigger house, but what about generating more income so that other people can now, or your investments can now pay for you and your children to live, or your families to live, or your vacation home? We grew up listening to people talk about their vacation homes, and they're traveling all the time, and they have multiple businesses and all these. What fuels those things? It's not always people are born with a silver spoon in their mouth. We got to get out of that. Jay-Z, Tyler Perry, Oprah, a lot of the black people that have now become billionaires did not grow up with silver spoons in their mouth. They worked their behinds off. They knew who to connect with, and they managed their money properly. All right, so in 5 years' time, let's put this into perspective. That $15,000 that I told you earlier, if you bought a car, some of you want to buy cash cars, or y'all want to invest in car. I don't know why the going thing is cars, but $15,000, you will have $26,000 in your portfolio for a profit of $11,400. You put that in a car, your car will now be worth $5,500, so you have lost $9,500. That's why you don't have any money, because every time you get money, you put it into liabilities. All right, so let's go through the overview. I'm almost done. Assets produce cash flow, and it puts money in your pocket. So all the people we're talking about, they had silver spoons in their mouth, and they didn't grow up like me, Demond. They didn't go through what I went through, Demond, and they didn't have to endure the stuff that I endured. And I'm a single mother, and I got multiple kids, and I had to work 2 jobs, and I ride 2 buses to get to work, and all those different types of things, which might be a lot of our family stories. But management of money, discipline, investing is the key to wealth. It's the key to wealth. And understanding the difference between where we put our money. Our closets are full. We have designer. Even if you say, I don't buy designer, but you still shop. You're still buying items that are depreciating and don't have any value. So liabilities cause expenses or take money out of your pocket. The rich get their income from assets, not jobs. The more money you spend on assets versus liabilities, the more money you will make. All right, that's proven. This is your homework assignment for Wealth Church today. I want you to watch Explain. It's a series called the Racial Wealth Gap. I showed a little bit of it earlier. at the beginning of this, I shared a little bit of it earlier at the beginning of Wealth Church. It will show you and help identify. You have, before you can go to another level financially, and before you can take your family, those men out there that are listening, before you can take your family to another level financially, you have to understand your history. So you got to understand how we got here, how we think buying a house is an investment, how we think when we buy clothes and how we look is more important than our investment portfolio, how we think that our kids need to have designer clothes and have all the toys, but we don't put any stocks or bonds or mutual funds up for them. We don't buy them CDs for gifts. We give them gifts that depreciate, that we eventually throw away over time. Why? How are we here? We don't teach them how to manage money. We don't teach them discipline. Our parents don't teach us discipline. Our parents didn't teach us how to get money. They taught us how to hustle, but they didn't tell us about finance. Finance is what's going to get your child and get you to another level, is understanding finance. Being able to sit down and properly read a financial statement. Being able to sit down and if you have a business, being able to sit, which everyone should have a business, which we talked about that before, but being able to sit down and understand a HUD statement. A HUD statement is when you go buy a house. Many of you have bought houses, but you just sign the papers. You don't know what you're signing. You need to understand what you're signing. If you're gonna flip houses, you gotta understand a HUD. So you gotta understand paper. That means that my time is so important that I have to manage my time better. I can't do what everybody else do. I can't spend 4 or 5 hours on Instagram or social media. I can't go to all the events. Sometimes I have to say no. And sometimes I have to disappear. I have to just shut my phone off and read and study and educate myself. I have to separate myself from the world. All right, so look, the median white household, as far as savings plus assets minus debts, is about $171,000. The median black household, savings plus assets minus debts, is $17,600. Now, do y'all think that that's a problem? That we put all our money into items that subtract from what we're even worth? That's why we're not worth nothing, because all of our money goes into debts, because we're in competition with our aunt or our cousin or our sister or our mother or whoever. We want to live in a bigger house because we want to have the biggest house for the family so that everybody can come on the holidays. So we go in debt for this house. We want to drive the biggest car, the nicest car. I got to drive a BMW because I can't drive enough Focus. I can't drive. No, so we got to have a car that we cannot afford technically, because we don't even have 6 months of our income, of our living expenses in a emergency fund. So when something happens, we lose everything. We have to file bankruptcy because we're so overextended. So I'm done with that. All right. All right. So again, let's break down assets versus liabilities. This is how my life is built. So if I have $300,000, I'm gonna buy me a multi-family unit. I'm gonna rent it out. I'm gonna make about $1,200 a month in cash flow. Cash flow cannot be taxed. So all the stuff that's going on with Donald Trump and they saying, did you file taxes and blah, 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 all the stuff, the tax stuff about Donald Trump. I mean, I'm sure some more stuff, but at the end of the day, Donald Trump doesn't pay as much taxes as you, because most of his money comes from cash flow, which are his buildings and his hotels and his apartment buildings and his high rises. Cash flow is not taxable. So this $1,200 that you're making from the $300,000 loan is not taxable. It's cash flow. So if you were buying your house, you would not cash flow $1,200 a month. All right. Liabilities. Liabilities. 100,000. You use it, it depreciates in value, and you have no profits. So either I take the money that the bank's gonna give me and I make more money with it, or I take the money that the bank's gonna give me and I just look good, I dress good, the exterior looks good, but in 5 years, I'm at a deficit. Many of you are driving cars right now that are upside down. They're upside down, why? Because it's depreciated. Why did it depreciate? And then you roll over, had the nerve to roll over another car because that one broke down, so you had to roll over another car's equity into that one. Negative equity. So now you got 2 or 3 cars, you paddle them up, so you still paying for the car that you had 10 years ago. So at some point, we got to stop this shenanigans, y'all. We got to stop it. All right, so these assets will make you rich. These 4 assets: stocks, real estate. I'm coming, Wall Street. Give me 3 minutes. Stocks, real estate, businesses, and your brain. Those are only 4 things. 4 things. 4 things, y'all. So we're going to buy assets and not liabilities. The average car payment that's financed is about $530. All right? 0 money goes into your index fund. I've showed you what an index fund is. I showed you how to build an index fund, and I showed you how I'm going to have $16 million from my index fund in another few years. The average car payment, if your car is paid off in full, is 0. If you take that $530 that you were spending on the car payment and put it into your index fund with a 10% annual return, you over 40 years, you'll have 2.8 million. So in 40 years, how many cars have you had? Because it takes 5 to 7 years to pay off your car. So in 40 years, you don't have 5 cars that are negative. No one else paid for them but you. They're worth less and you're still broke. All right. I'm talking about an average person, not you guys. Not you guys. All right, so Wall Street. Where Wall Street at?
I'm here.
I gotta give you some access. So Wall Street and I are teaming up today, and I'm pretty much I wanted to break that down first before I just threw you over to Wall Street, because Wall Street is a expert, and typically when he talks to people as if they're experts. So I said, Wall Street, my people, they taking baby steps in this. They not experts like you, brother. They not using they dividends to pay for luxury items. A lot of them are not, because a lot of you are just now getting set up with that. So I gave you the intro to assets versus liabilities, because now what Wall Street is going to do is he's going to show you how digitally what our world is going into. And digitally, you should be prepared. 15, how many of us, most of y'all, how many of us went through the 80s and the 90s? Now in the 90s, in the 80s, some of you might have been through the 70s and 60s and 50s, I don't know. But in the 80s, we didn't have cell phones. And when someone tried to give my grandmother a cell phone in the 90s, she didn't want that. That's the devil. She didn't want it. She just want to talk on her home phone with the cord. You had to put your finger in there just to get it took you 20 minutes to call somebody. If you had to hang up and call them back, you got to go through the whole number. If you mess up on the number, you got to go through the whole number all over again. Because during that time, we weren't prepared for smartphones. They told us it was coming. We even got a phone, The BlackBerry. We even got a phone later on released called the BlackBerry. And people still didn't understand what a smartphone was about to do to our world and how it was now going to be the foundation of our worlds. Our kids now have to have cell phones. So most people don't even have a house phone anymore. That hasn't been just long ago that things have changed and we had to learn it. My aunt, God bless her heart, she just died at the beginning of this year. She was 90 years old, but she had an iPhone. Took her to Apple, we got her iPhone. She had an iPhone for 15 years. So she had to learn how to use an iPhone because they didn't sell flip phones anymore. So we have to learn ahead of time. We shouldn't learn when it gets to that point. I know a lot of people saying, well, I'm not understanding crypto, blah, blah, blah. That's the reason why you're average. You will remain average when you get to a point where you say, I'm not willing to learn something else that I don't know, that might take me out of my familiar zone, my comfort zone. When you tell me, many of you are homeowners, and I'm telling you, hey, it's another way. You can still own your home, but it's just another step you miss. Other people should be paying for it. Your Airbnbs or your investments or your rentals or your multifamilies, those people should be paying for you to live. So we just missed the step. I'm not telling you that you can't have ownership. I'm saying that other people should be paying for it for you. So it's just a step we miss. So you can't get so closed down to the point where you're comfortable with the way things are and you're saying, hey, because you know what's going to happen is just like the system has forced us to learn how to use smartphones and how to communicate through social media and how to advertise, how to understand our movements and understand what we look at and understand what we talk about. That system, we have conformed to that system. I dare you to try to pull out a rotary phone and say, hey, I'm not, and you try to call somewhere and it's touch tone and you still trying to flick through and dial through rotary. That's not gonna work in this day and time. So crypto, digital currency, those are things that our world is shifting to. I'm learning, I'm being taught. So now it's time for us to understand where to put our assets, where to protect our assets, where to pay less taxes or no taxes, how to be protected, how to protect what we have coming or we think we have coming, what accounts to set up. So I'm gonna introduce Wall Street, which is one of my business partners, and he's going to break down what digital assets are. And he's going to show us how to open a digital wallet. All right. For those of you that are in my wealth transfer group, we need to open a digital wallet because what we're shifting to is a cryptocurrency platform. Those of you that want to come with me, those of you that don't, some of you are going to stay stuck. All right. So we got to learn it. We got to understand it. And he's also going to introduce to you a new platform that we've had built and designed and for us to be able to circulate money amongst each other, for us to be able to build compounding interest, and for us to be able to use a platform called smart contracts. All right, go ahead, Wall Street.
Give me like 2 more minutes. I'm just loading up the Neon.
All right.
1 second. Hold on. You give me the, did you share the screen?
Trying to find you, brother. Oh, there you are. All right.
All right.
You need 2 minutes?
No, I'm good now. Let me pull up the thing.
I was ready to go into the truth is.
All right. So let me share my screen.
I was ready to go. I know somebody got the truth is for me.
Can you see the screen?
Yeah, we can see it.
All right now. So I wanted to kind of go into Neon and then I break down, blockchain for everybody and cryptocurrency and all this stuff everybody's been hearing about, digital payments and digital assets. So what is the Neon Network? I mean, obviously, Neon for eons. You know, we'll probably be saying that for a while. Once everybody gets familiar with Neon, we're all inside, you know, an ecosystem, right? All of you guys right now inside, you know, the Wealth Church, you've developed your own financial ecosystem where you guys are exchanging money and moving money within your ecosystem. And with the current banking system, Cash App, Venmo, PayPal, things can be slow. You can also see challenges where they can ultimately just block your ability to send money back and forth. They're also tracking every single thing that we do when we're using legacy banking systems. And you know that just like Tulsa, Oklahoma and Black Wall Street, whenever we start to work together, build through group economics, they typically come in and stifle our growth and innovation. So with that being said, Neon allows us to continue, you know, what we've been doing since Black Wall Street, you know, since the early 20s with the numbers and just any ecosystem where the Black people have been able to work together and build wealth. It's taking it and putting it to where everything's automated. So the world and the way of doing business is changing. All right. So hold on a second here. What do I mean when I say changing? As DeMont was saying, things have been shifting. I mean, no one has home phones anymore. Now everyone has cell phones. Nobody uses fax machines anymore, right? Everyone's using emails. The postcards are now a thing of the past. And CDs are much, very, very much old, just like 8-tracks and things of that nature, as everyone's streaming now. So, you know, the world changes, and change seems to be the only constant thing that we're familiar with. I mean, I'll take it early stages of streaming. Everybody remember Napster, right? Napster is what changed music, and it puts music to where it's at today, where we're actually able to stream. Who remembers the time when you couldn't get a catalog of your artists and be able to have all their music? The only way you could is if you had the CD or you had the tape, right? You had to actually go in and buy it. Now you can subscribe to a network that has all of these songs cataloged, and you can access them through streaming. Now, why was the music industry changed? And in fact, it's changed for the better to where now these artists are making more money for, or at least the record labels are, right? Well, it had to change because when you looked at Napster, it was decentralized. Napster was a decentralized streaming platform, right, for music that allowed you to get access to all of your music for free. And the reason they could not stop Napster was because the computers were acting as nodes, right? Centralized servers, right? All over the world where the music was being streamed and shared. The only way they could shut Napster down was to go into everybody's living room and shut down these computers all over the world. You can't do, especially when you're talking about a government that's centralized in a decentralized market or a global geographical location. So with that being said, blockchain and cryptocurrency is changing the landscape of money and how we exchange value and data, much like cars change the way that we travel, much like cell phones change the way that we communicate, and the internet has changed the way that information is exchanged, right? So with all this, we have an understanding that we're moving to a precipice where it's a fintech revolution, a new wave. In China, they're already using digital payments. They're no longer using dollars. So we have the Black people in our community. We deal, hold on a second. We deal hand to hand. There's a lot of us that make cash. A lot of us aren't even digital. So when we move to a digital platform, for those that make cash, you know, if your money is ill-gotten, it's going to immediately be eliminated. If they're able to track where our money comes and goes, then they're going to be able to say who can make the money and who can't. They'll also be able to take it from us easily. But there are already platforms available that allow you to circumvent, you know, this totalitarian financial state that's coming. So the way of doing business is changing. Now, cryptocurrencies is valued at over 200. So what is this platform? It's a risk-free platform. So the centralized application that cannot be controlled by a single person, right? There's no administrator or a company, right? And it's speed based on the transactions being on a blockchain where they move very fast. It's peer-to-peer. So in the Neon network, no money is collected in the smart contract pool or the back office. It's immediately paid out to the members based on your wallet, much like your Cash App account. And we say Neon for eons because it can go on for infinity. All right. So the Neon network, it's been created with the feature in the smart contract, the continuation of the matrix possible. So what is a smart contract? Well, it allows credible and safe transactions without the need for a third party. Now, us as a people, we've literally been using third parties since we've gotten out of slavery. And that third party has kept his foot on our neck. He leaves us with crumbs. So we no longer need any intermediaries in between our transactions to deal. It allows you to safely exchange money, tokens, or anything of value in a transparent and safe way without any middleman. It bonds the buyer and the seller. One Cash App wallet or account with another Cash App account in your instance, but in this case, one wallet to another wallet, okay? With an agreement that it's gonna automatically ensure their cooperation for the transaction to be executed. If there's a fail point, then your money goes back to you. There is no intermediary that needs to be there acting in between as a third party intermediary. So the smart contract is a special way of instructions that's stored on the blockchain, okay? And the blockchain has never been hacked. It can't be changed. In addition, it has the ability to auto execute actions according to a series of parameters already programmed. All of this is immutable, which means it cannot be changed. So what Demant's been building with these devs, you know, and you know, my guidance, we're making it set up so that once we deploy it, it cannot be changed. Everything operates and it's transparent in a completely secure. So the objective here is to eliminate intermediaries in a simplified process. And it's going to also save us time, cost, and eliminate the risk to you as users. You don't have to worry about a new board setting up, administrator come on, news as to what's going on. So you can actually see here, there's no risk involved because it's an open source smart contract. We're using a specific blockchain that has the transactions move in seconds. There are also pennies as far as the cost, so it's a lot cheaper than Cash App. The system can't be hacked. It's not possible to change the algorithm or delete the participants' rooms. That means whatever seat you have, whatever board you have, it can't be altered or deleted, okay? The system is able to work without a site. Therefore, if the site goes down, you guys can still interact. The site's only needed for the display, you know, of your current position. All right. Now, the hierarchy, all right, it's non-hierarchy organized. So it's a crowdfunded decentralized matrix project. All right. And it's designed to simulate a global relocation to the crypto ecosystem. All right. By offering any newcomers coming in a seamless introductory experience. So you don't have to worry about waiting for an admin to come and move things along. So smart contracts, they're very easy and simple. All right. And you don't have to worry about it being new. It's been tried and tested. This has been something that's been around since early 2009. And in the next presentation I show you guys, I'm going to show you how big banks and even governments and nations are starting to implement blockchain. The security, there's transactional security. So with the Tron network, the nodes, they irrevocably record and store the transactional history of every Neon network participant on the blockchain. So transaction that you guys take and make, it'll be stored on. You'll be able to see your transactions in here. I mean, everything is open source and transparent. You can also audit the smart contract by clicking there once it's open and available. All right. I know there's gonna be a lot of questions too. We addressed that as well. It's only $20 to get in, guys. Like, you know, Demant was strategic about setting it up. It doesn't mean that you can't invest 300 or 1,500 or 5,000. It'll be taken care of as it's spread around, but it's in finite terms. So the smart contract will exist as long as the Tron blockchain exists. And even the creators of the smart contract will not be able to delete or change the terms. So Demant, he doesn't have any special ability to go in or change anything, do any favors, kick anybody out. Everything is autonomous. And biggest thing, you know, is the experience. You know, it's very easy. Payouts are instant. There's really no such thing as cheating the system. You can hold your own spots. You don't have to worry about being kicked out or penalized for going in and creating duplicate accounts. So the smart contract does not control the money. All the transactions are 100% person to person, peer to peer, and they're anonymous in every way. Now, this is an example of the board. The board starts split, okay? And you have the left galaxy and the right galaxy. So imagine one board, and everybody has, I guess there's 15 spots on your current board now, but here you start with galaxy on the left, galaxy 3, and then galaxy 4 on the right. You see here the recurring sign. This is the re-entry into that galaxy so that you can restart your cycle, and the same applies here. And then you have the 2 here that go to your upline, and then 1 that goes to your upline. So the person above you in the hierarchy is able to profit and benefit as well, just from referrals, whereas right now you guys don't have referrals. What's different about this particular platform that, you know, Wealth Church has put together? I would say the fact that we're implementing a stable coin. There are a lot of ecosystems now that have been using blockchain and implementing cryptocurrencies, but the cryptos that they're implementing fluctuate. They go up and down. Right now in the legacy banking system, and what you guys are used to with CDs, bonds, stocks that pay dividends, and other things that give you residual income, they're paid out in a coin or a dollar that's stable, right? Like the dollar, it doesn't fluctuate up or down. Even though it loses purchasing power over time, it doesn't have fluctuation or volatility issues or risk that is inherent in crypto. Well, we eliminated that. We're using a stable coin. Now, what are the main benefits of a stable coin? It strives to create price stability, scalability, and privacy. It's decentralized and it's redeemable instantaneously. So it's T0 settlement. So transactions happen within seconds to minutes. It makes it a safe haven asset. As stable coins, they've got value that's designed to stay stable over any period. So as long as you know what your payout is, being paid out in a stable, stable currency. So this is what we wanted to present to you here with this particular ecosystem. So the feature makes stable coins an ideal safe haven asset, because unlike other cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin or Ethereum that fluctuate dramatically in price on a regular basis, stable coins don't. So you don't have any worry of risk of loss. All right. You also keep full custody of your assets. I don't think you guys get it. When you in a bank or in Cash App, you don't have custody. But in order to use those systems to pay your bills and transact to buy food and gas, you have to put your money in a bank. Well, now that's eliminated. I'm going to show you some resources that allow you to open up your own wallet, and you can transact and be able to use it while still having client-side encryption and self-custody. Write those things down. They're going to mean everything to you moving forward, folks. Client-side encryption and self-custody. This means that you will have the ability to control your money while still using your money, monetizing your money, okay? So the importance of both the price stability and self-custody nature of stablecoins and cryptocurrency as a whole has recently been illustrated with the political economic crisis in Venezuela, right? Where many citizens were fleeing to cryptocurrency in that country that they were storing on their own singular ledger wallets to avoid confiscation of their fiat money by the government. And if you don't believe that's coming now in this country, you have another thing coming, folks. We've been sitting in bread lines for many, many, many centuries. We've been sitting in bank lines with them to only tell us that there's no money. Go away, we're closed. Well, we're not going to let it happen on our watch. So fast speed, low fees, it's borderless, decentralized, programmable, and transparent. Transparent means you'll be able to see the participants, the newcomers coming in, the earnings that are on the platform. And guys, guess what? It's not dollars. We don't need any licenses. There's no regulation or compliance that we have to worry about. We don't have to worry about them coming in and raining on our parade. You can also click on the smart contract, again, as I said, and it's very transparent. So lastly, it's as easy as downloading the wallet here. Everything's not available right now. You download the wallet there, and then you can pretty much join. And so let me see. I want to show you guys something here. Give me 1 second. I got a special presentation for you where I break down blockchain just a little bit, a little further for some of you that might need a little more insight. All right. So this one's a freebie, all right? Only because Coach DeMont said so. So how blockchain is transforming the banking and financial space. Is this okay? I mean, give me a 777 if you guys are all right with it. You're ready. You want this sauce. I mean, I feel like you really need this information. I charge $100 for this lecture. I've done lectures at UCLA and NYU and all over, and it was packed. This is free on the house. Okay, so excellent. Demond, I hope you're recording this one. Demond, you might want to stop the recording and then start the recording. Once you do that, that way we got a fresh recording of this presentation for the Wealth Church. We good, Demond? All right. I don't know if you know how to do that or not, but all right. Let me try to, I'll hit record on this computer. All right. So how blockchain is transforming the banking and financial space and why it's important to you. Blockchain, you guys have heard, the term over and over and over, blockchain. What is blockchain, right? And how does blockchain work? Well, you request a transaction on the computer, right? The network consisting of nodes then verifies the transaction. It can involve information or a coin or cryptocurrency or something of value. Then the new block is added to the existing blockchain and the transaction is complete. So when you look at it, a blockchain, it's developed as a tracking database in 2009, all right? And blockchain's now drawing interest and established by, big banks. They're moving into changing their systems. But blockchain is basically a distributed and shared database of transactions that facilitates exchange of value. So it's like a giant global spreadsheet, which eliminates the need for third parties to validate transactions. It also reduces intermediary fees and it increases transparency. I put CoinZoom on here as the sponsor because CoinZoom is one of the apps that I would recommend that you guys download because it gives you a debit card where you can spend your crypto without selling it. What are some of the key benefits? It's decentralized, so no single entity holds control over the system. All of the blockchain are equally responsible for enforcing and approving all the transactions. Security, every transaction to blockchain is verified by all the members of the network, which it restricts any manipulation and it improves security because of the decentralized nature. So there is no centralized fail point. Now trust, all transactions, they're recorded in a transparent manner on a distributed ledger where everyone can see these transactions. And therefore, the trust level is among the stakeholders and it's very high because everyone has stake in the system. So if they were to try to manipulate or destroy the system, it would affect their holdings. Now, how does it work? Again, the transaction is initiated, the transaction is identified, unified like a block. It's then shared across the network. They approve the transaction. It's then recorded on the block. Money is exchanged. Now, 14 ways that blockchain will transform banking. Well, we have interbank transactions. That means transactions in between banks, local and international remittances. That means think Western Union or MoneyGram. That's a remittance. Smart contract enforcement, which is going to be pretty big in terms of policing things like title to property, rights to things like IP or even work, music work. Crypto banking, which is already starting to be very popular. Record sharing, storage, clearing and settlement, loan syndication. I mean, I can go on and on and on. You guys can see that a lot of the different value there. Biggest thing I would say is banking the unbanked. Right now, there's a lot of people that don't have access to banking, can't get to brick and mortar banks. So being able to have access to a network and a phone and bank from your phone is going to be huge. And then the improved transparency, the increased transparency is going to be big as well for everybody because there's be less manipulation because everything's open source. How blockchain will revolutionize the stock market. It again reduces intermediaries. There's built-in regulation that can be put into the smart contract. It also simplifies the settlement process post-trade. You can track the securities lending process a lot better. I mean, there are so many different, models that you can see facilitating dividend payments to where they're instantaneous. So it's all going to be a lot easier as well as cheaper to facilitate when we're talking about on a blockchain. So in blockchain, we trust. What do we mean by that? So various types of financial institutions around the world, they've been investing time, money, and resources really to understand blockchain in its totality. And this has been since the beginning of 2008. Banks and blockchain, I mean, they literally have been buying patents the scene and doing a lot of stuff to be able to gain, a head start. So the game is as smart as it's always been. So whoever's there first, they get more of everything: trust, big data, customers, and most importantly, profit. So it's obviously all about profit. So before humanity can even think about getting into cryptocurrency or entering into a new era, we need to have the banks start to be adopting it. And you're already starting to see banks adopt it with the central bank digital currencies. We're also seeing these institutions here that are starting to explore blockchain, huge. Visa, Western Union, have been working with the R3 quarter node, and they've been testing payments. You also have China right now with the digital yuan, which is already in 3 cities right now as a test pilot. And if this is successful, it can threaten the standing that the US dollar has as the world's reserve currency. So can I put it in layman's terms? It can threaten the dollar standing as the main dollar we use to buy stuff around the world. That's probably as basic as I can put it. And that means we've been able to print dollars out of nowhere. In exchange, we get all these things that are imported to us. Well, this is changing as these countries are moving towards using other mediums of exchange. So the blockchain adoption, I mean, it's becoming increasingly more and more popular as they're testing and conducting decentralized asset technology, as well as implementing blockchain into their business practices. So as you see more banks investing into the blockchain sector, they're saying that by the year 2022, there should be about $20 billion that will be saved in implementing blockchain technology annually. So it provides a high level of safety in storing and transmitting data. It's an open and transparent network infrastructure, as well as decentralized and low-cost operations. So all these things make it more and more viable for it to be a means of use in terms of their systems and what they're using in the back end as far as banks. But it's hard for them to wrap their minds around just gutting the whole legacy banking system for a new digital banking system. Recently, we've actually seen different companies like the DTCC, the Depository Trade Company or Trust Company. They handle all the deeds and trusts for all assets, stocks, and properties. They recently have moved from a centralized ledger to a distributed ledger. So understanding the importance of blockchain. So how top blockchain technology is being used by banks in the banking sector? Well, the key points of internal bank problems are process automation, digitalization and decentralization of banking information, interbank settlements, auditing, reconciliation and synchronization of their data, safer data storing, internal transaction messaging. I mean, there's a lot of stuff that they still have to get their minds and wrap their minds around, but it doesn't mean that you have to wait to start taking advantage of blockchain as well as the security that it affords. So in terms of bank client relationships, some of the things that it can do to help improve the bank sector would be digitization instead of paper, total operational simplification, faster transaction handling. Think about how Cash App and Venmo has changed the way that we send money. This has all been birthed based on blockchain. All right, once competitive pressure forces banks to, open up your ability to move your money around and your access, obviously they have to respond, and they did well with Zelle and the different apps that they're using, like Pop Money that the banks have within their system. But it doesn't compare. They're very slow. They limit you. They can block your account and charge a lot of fees. So with blockchain, there's also less fraud. You can have your Cash App or your Venmo account literally hacked, and it's not pretty. So it's clear that banks are adamant not to miss something that's going to be a big paradigm shift, altering the future. This is why our people, it's very important that we as a people understand this, and we're making the steps necessary to be involved in the precipice, right, of a financial wave, a fintech revolution of sorts. All right, so the technology is financially inclined and is disruptive in nature. So furthermore, considering the uptake of the interest from banks, it's too big to miss out on as far as our people's concerned. So you look here at the timeline of FinServ services from firms into blockchain startups. So you could see this is from 2014. You had F Prime, right around, you could say January 16, about 2015. You started to have a lot of banks starting to come into the sector and start to implement blockchain technology. The fact is, a lot of you guys don't understand the technology that's behind a lot of the apps that you're using now. A good example, Lyft, Uber, Airbnb, the ride scooters, Toro, right? I mean, I can go on and on and on, right? You literally can subscribe to get a car now, right? You don't even have to go through the hoops that you used to have to go through to be able to qualify to get a car. If you don't want it, you want to give it back after 2 weeks, you can do that. Get another one. You can go month to month. I mean, there's so much flexibility now because blockchain is allowing us to be able to work with people that have less money over a larger geographical location. So incumbent banks and blockchain initiatives, you can see these are very big. And I would say that this is a slide that you might want to take a snapshot of. Look at all the banks that are involved in R3, okay? The Corda node. You got Hyperledger, which is a big one, all right? Not too many banks have been involved, but you can see the big ones are starting to pay attention to Hyperledger. Now, which ones are in proof of concept? All of them. All of them are moving towards creating technology to address digital payments and where money is going from electronic to digital. And then investing. Even more are investing. I would say now almost all of them are investing and establishing patents. So I can't make it any more simpler for you guys, right? What's the benefit? Faster transactions. What's the benefit to your current will, right? Improved security, faster transactions, the reduction in costs from sending the money back and forth, and then the record keeping, being able to see every transaction, know who's coming on to the network. And then implementation facts. 90% of North American banks and European banks are exploring blockchain. So a head start, right? It's also going to reduce the infrastructure costs by 30%. So this is a good example of understanding which stocks to invest in. If you want to start building a stock portfolio, you might want to start looking into companies that are already starting to move towards blockchain technology. And it's not just for banks, okay? Now, adopters. You've got Royal Bank of Canada, Deutsche Bank, Central Bank of Lithuania, right? I mean, you got so many of these different participants hopping in. So potential outcomes of blockchain, the global annual cost savings would equate to about 12 billion. We talked about that. That's already being realized. We're seeing 20 billion by the year 2022. So 70% cost savings on central finance reporting, 50% cost savings on business operations. I mean, I don't have to keep going into it, right? The main reason why they're slowing the development of blockchain is because it's going to gut their systems. It's going to cause them to have to U-haul everything, and it's also going to eliminate a lot of jobs inside the banking and investment banking sector. So the people that are going to be okaying and signing off on these initiatives to be implemented and developed are in essence signing their death wish, really signing their job away, because the technology almost eliminates the need to have these humans intervening. So blockchain, understanding that it will reduce the cost of banking, it can also reduce the cost of you as you're transacting and dealing just back and forth within your current financial network with the Wealth Church. So according to a report, blockchain can bring savings to banks, core, middle, and back office processes in such as areas as finance reporting, compliance, centralized operations, business operations, etc. I want to kind of speed through so I can give you guys the meat and potatoes. Sectors currently using blockchain. You've got 30% banking and finance, 13% government and public goods, 12% insurance, 8% healthcare, 8% media, entertainment, and gaming, about 6% generic. Technology services is also 6%. I'm surprised that we only have 4% professional services, but as more and more people become more aware of blockchain and its inherent benefits, you'll start to see that sector grow. And then there's 3% for manufacturing and energy and utilities. So it's not just for banking and finance. It's something that we're starting to see everywhere because of its cost savings, as well as the security layer that's afforded when using blockchain and smart contracts. So blockchain and finance use cases, decentralized. Listen to this closely though, okay? It's decentralized when not adopted by a particular bank, of course, as well as when the smart contract is immutable, okay? It becomes cost effective and secure. It's also fast, but knowing the pros and cons of blockchain, smart contracts, and distributed ledgers is important for you to be able to know which ones to avoid and to know which ones to navigate to. But they offer a solution to what we all don't like about the current state of things, right? So it's like a system that we could all dream about. Imagine taking the worst of the banking system out and only keeping the good. Well, that's what blockchain affords, and cryptocurrency or digital assets, okay? So some more use cases: secure transaction ledger, trusted with third-party elimination. You can automate the transactions. It eliminates error. It speeds things up, which means faster transactions, and as well as cost reduction. Governments, they've been starting to create national currencies that operate on blockchain-based solutions. Notable countries are Japan, Dubai, China, even Russia, and Qatar have all started to create their own digital currencies. Banks have united as well on the blockchain front to be able to transact with each other, to make their transactions within interbank remittances and interbank transactions go smoother as well as cheaper. They've been employing multi-based blockchain solutions as well as off-ledger transactions, side transactions, putting them together. This is mainly what the R3 quarter node has been based on. So another big one's trade finance. We've seen Deutsche Bank do one of the first trade finances on a blockchain with, I believe it was UBS or one of these other banks. I'm not sure. I think I have it in the presentation here. But you could already see it's 2020. We're approaching 2021 very, very fast. So how can blockchain reshape or revolutionize business, right? Blockchain networks in production today, you see 25% top global banking transactions are now already on a blockchain. Manufacturers and retailers are at 30%, and then healthcare organizations are at 20%. Now they're saying by 2021, at least 25% of the global 2,000 will use, roughly blockchain services. So at the core of this distributed ledger technology, right, or blockchain, it offers support, digital trust at a scale for individuals, right, by providing one version of the truth, secure information. So no more double book accounting or multiple records that could be in comparison so faster settlements is probably my favorite. The fact that settlements, transactions settle extremely fast. Investigate consortiums, initiatives. There's all sorts of different industries going into the blockchain sector. So you want to look at existing blockchain consortiums and ecosystem initiatives, and then seek professional peers and partners to get started. You're already here learning now with us, so definitely commend you guys for that. Let's get it toward the end of the presentation here. So major blockchain consortiums, look at all the banks that are involved in R3. Here's the additional banks that are now being involved in the Hyperledger project, and then look at the ones that already have digital asset holdings. They're investors. And then Ripple, a lot of you have heard of Ripple. Well, a lot of these banks are using Ripple now in their transactions. So for you to understand this is going to be vital for you to know how your money is going to move and evolve, how you're going to be exchanging value and data in the next 2 to 5 years. Okay, so it's never before been possible to not alter data and rely solely upon technology. Never before, okay? So blockchain payments allow distributed ledger technology to take a huge step ahead of conventional financial institutions, as the authenticity problem ceases to exist with the introduction of blockchain into money transfers, especially if we're talking about this network that we have, right? This wealth church that's moving vast amounts, right? So the blockchain, right, it offers digital payments that are able to offer what banks are still unable to achieve on their own. And it guarantees that the data, the digital data, is not vulnerable to any hacks or cybercrime. So with the smart contract and the Neon network, we can stop worrying about trust of a particular financial institution or any mediator. It's just us relying on a mathematical algorithm that's always going to work. All right. And the third party's gone. So emerging business models are payments, banking, trading, risk management, and lending and investing, as well as pools. This is why blockchain's perfect for the current pool that you guys have. Right now, you can see this is the initiatives that are being implemented by governments. I talked about it. If we're to see the technology become widespread, especially throughout the banking industry, it's up to the governments to let their people believe the power of the distributed ledger or not. So you're going to need these central bank digital currencies to start to give rise, and investment banks coming in and starting to, I guess, police the bad actors in the industry. So focusing on the cybersecurity is going to be very important. Estonia started to already implement different e-laws and e-KYC and e-policing. You also have Malta, as well as Dubai. They're actively exploring blockchain technology and planning to run their government on blockchain services by this year. And they're already moving to initiatives to digitize their government. This can include healthcare, trade finance, the diamond trade, tourism, ownership transfers. I mean, guys, it's immense. So right now, in the United Emirates, they're already using eCash, okay? So we gotta get with the times. So to cut down on the paperwork, Sweden's also testing a blockchain-powered land registry. This is supposed to let land buyers and sellers, their banks and the land registry authorities view and approve transactions in real time. Imagine also what it will do for appraisers that are handling real estate, property profiles. It's amazing in terms of what it affords, really all of these industries and markets. So good governance, right? Good money, good governance, right? Consensus oriented. Imagine voting really working. They could put voting on a blockchain now and there would be no manipulating the votes. You could see everyone that voted, you could see when they voted, etc. Participatory, right? Follows the rule of law. It's effective and efficient. It's equitable and inclusive, responsive, transparent, accountable. Transactions are very fast, all right? So banking would become more trustworthy through improved transparency. The risk of both banks and their customers would lower significantly, and the banking process would become faster and eliminating all paperwork. Everything happens in real time. Imagine all this with lower cost. Now, why do they not want lower costs? Because it guts their profits. And imagine them losing a significant amount of their profits in a time during a pandemic. So top bank initial use cases for blockchain are international money transfers at 60%. Securities clearing and settlement, so 23%. KYC, know your customer, and anti-money laundering initiatives at 20%. Fiat currency payment and settlement, think MoneyGram or Western Union, right? 19%. As well as creating transparency for certain ecosystems. Decentralized notary system. I mean, imagine having notaries that are able to be used globally and everything is done digitally, as well as asset registries. You've got digital gold, DGX. They already have an asset registry and a repository for gold that is being tracked through tokenized storage. So security issuance and transfer, proof of solvency, proof of delivery, right? All this is now at our fingertips, right? So mortgages, insurance, right? Simply by allowing self-executing contracts to work with shared access to certain types of data, not just financial institutions, but we, Black Wall Street, are able to improve several aspects of our services and eventually our lives. So some main use cases: supply chain, right? Identity management, data management, and healthcare. All these are already starting to implement blockchain. Now, what is the rave behind distributed ledger technology? Why is it the new future? It's worth noting that the idea of blockchain-based world is a form of belief. The more people regard it as a real thing, right, the more real it actually becomes. So since we're talking about money, the more real it is, the more money you can have and the more money you can make out of it, which means the more Black people or the more people in general that come into the ecosystem and are flowing money into the ecosystem, you will start to see it grow. and the market cap will explode. It's already been 10 years since the seed of distributed ledger technology was planted, and that was Bitcoin by Satoshi Nakamoto. And now we're figuring out what the possibilities are that we can do with this fruit, right? And so far, we're unfolding the complexities of blockchain technology at full speed of light. So what are some of the other things we can do with this bad boy, right? Well, smart contracts can help with digital rights, wagers. Imagine getting paid instantly after you clock out of work. No need to wait 2 weeks anymore. T0 settlement. Escrow, eliminating the escrow company because everything's on a blockchain. Securities transactions. I'm talking equities market, private market, debt sector, crowdfunding, and derivatives, right? No more manipulation. Digital currency. This can be done like we've seen Best Buy, Amazon, or PayPal bucks and stuff like that, all e-commerce, right? But you can handle global remittances, peer-to-peer, microfinances, pool syndication, all of it. And then the record keeping. I mean, imagine just what it do for title records, ownership of things, IP, music rights, book rights. I mean, all this stuff, right? So cryptocurrency, it's stepped into the world hand in hand with blockchain, right? And it's revolutionizing the notion of money or how we use money, right? This new idea of money logically manifested alongside the new idea of how it will function, but we got to be brave enough to be able to go in and embrace these new initiatives, embrace this new technology. If not now, then when? If not you, then who? Right? So as with all great ideas, there are those who speculate and say, maybe it's not for me, it's too confusing, it's a daunting task, or isn't that a scam? Anything that the government has tried to keep us away from, they've done a good job of spreading FUD and propaganda, right? So by only just being here, okay, your existence here is contributing to the blockchain ecosystem and the level of information that's being disseminated out, and spread around to the world, right? So Bitcoin, right? Eventually it'll be Bitcoin exchange. It's already moving there. Binance now more profitable than Deutsche Bank. Haven't even been around for more than 5 years, and they're now more profitable than Deutsche Bank, right? Blockchain startups that are now almost ruling the ecosystem, right? I got a gem for you. I'm almost done. I'm going to show you where to go and how to set this wallet up. All right. But again, you've got different companies understanding where this technology is going, and they're creating companies. I had no knowledge of technology before blockchain, guys. I never thought I'd be a tech guy. After understanding it and seeing the future, seeing the wave, right? Before everybody else, I was able to start creating different initiatives. You too can do the same thing. Why? Because the banks are in no hurry to gut their profit. So pro crypto trading app Robinhood launches checking and savings accounts. You got lots of people now hopping in and trading because of Robinhood. This is all blockchain based, guys. And we talked about R3 quarter node, right? Some initiatives, 43 banks combined have put over $600 billion, right? 60% of them are FIs. So that's basically syndicated banks, big consortiums. So HSBC recently completed a transaction with Deutsche Bank for a trade finance transaction, and huge. So let's give the grand finale. Where's this all going, right? Well, money's being transformed, right? The future currency in a digital world. We're moving from electronic money to digital money, moving from physical money to digital payments, all on that phone of yours. So this was real news, came out about a few months ago in March, okay? Coronavirus stimulus offered by House Financial Services Committee creates new digital dollar. Oh, wow. Oh, wow. Coinbase's chief legal officer resigns to oversee U.S. national banking system. Oh, wow. Oh, wow. This tells us something. As the markets continue to drop, the U.S. looks to Congress for agreement on a massive stimulus package to save the economy from impacts of the corona pandemic. The newest offer by House Democrats includes a very forward-looking kind of stimulus, the creation of a digital dollar and the establishment of a digital dollar wallet. Ooh. I don't think they get it. It sent ripples through the cryptocurrency and blockchain sphere, as well as the banking sphere, particularly with central banks and digital currencies being the rave. So this showed that the U.S. is serious in establishing a blockchain infrastructure for a central bank digital currency. But we'll wait, it gets worse. Fearing U.S. decline, ex-CFTC head, that's the Commodities Future and Trade Commission, right? He proposed a blockchain-based digital dollar. Folks, a few years ago, they were against me when I was talking about digital currency and blockchain technology. They were against it. Now they're talking about implementing it to save this pandemic. Something else. It ain't nothing under the sun that we ain't created, folks. They steal everything from us. Digital Dollar Project calls for two-tier distribution system, the first white paper for the U.S. central bank digital currency. Oh, it's here. For those of you that thought I was playing, for those of you that thought it was just maybe a idea, right, where Wall Street is just maybe talking out the side of his neck, and maybe DeMont done went cuckoo off the reservation because he keep talking about digital currency. No, it's upon us. What are you going to do about it? So what are some of the benefits of hold on 1 second, guys. Give me 1 second. 1 second. So when we talk about the digital dollar, we're referring to a token-based digital representation of money issued by a central bank that is a digital bearer instrument, a digital banknote representing direct liability, right, of the Federal Reserve, okay? Other literature on the topic of central bank digital currency makes the distinction between token-based and account-based. The method of exchange verification primarily differentiates the two vehicles. In a token-based system, the token contains all the information necessary for the recipient to verify the legitimacy of the transaction, and the recipient can verify the object transferred. Problem is, your private key will be your social, and they'll be able to pry in and check everything. Imagine banking with the Fed. Eventually, they'll privatize banking. Eventually, the stock market will collapse, and you'll see that the government will take over banking. They have to do it in order to implement this initiative. Yep, the telecommunication companies must go too. So in order to disguise it, they'll collapse the whole stock market. Buy it all back at wholesale with this new digital dollar. What's the account model? Wall Street, you're going deep. Let me get my pen. Well, as you should. A transaction agreement occurs between two parties. You got party A and party B. And they're not at a party having fun. When you have them tracking everything you do, you must understand it's on their ledger. It's not open source and it's not decentralized. So on this digital dollar wallet, transacting with the bank, the parties send messages directing the operator to confirm the parties' identities, and then it updates the respective account balances. So you have the commercial bank here, messages sent to reconcile account balances, and then you can see the two-tier system of physical cash to tokenized digital dollars. Who's at the top? Federal Reserve and the Treasury. So who's at the bottom? Individuals, digital wallets. It's coming, it's coming, it's here. So what are you going to do about it? As you start to see this landscape changing, and we're on the precipice of change, there's a fork in the road. You can go left or you can go right. Right is going to leave benefits for your children, for legacy, for generations to come, right? Left will leave bills and maybe concentration camps because the stimulus won't last for long. Barclays is already getting involved, creating their own digitized tokenization of their systems. And Wall Street's already jumped on board as well. You got Bakkt moving in, creating a digital exchange. That means ICE, the Intercontinental Exchange, created a digital currency exchange. In fact, guys, they ripped off my model. They came out with it at the end of last year. But because the public doesn't really know, you don't understand what it means, right? Bitcoin exchange, crypto settlement. That means the very first exchange by a publicly traded company, right? A multinational firm that's settling in crypto instead of fiat. It's here. The tokenization of Wall Street. JP Morgan was rejected on 175 times to get a Bitcoin style patent payment system, right? And they've also filed over 20 patents over there at Bank of America for blockchain payment systems. Goldman Sachs, they bought Circle, and they've been implementing their own exchange or token, stable coin, so to speak. They bought Poloniex as well. So they're merging and starting to digitize these things. So, I mean, I want to kind of go here, exchange, custody, right? Client-side encryption. These are things that are important to you. So some of the wallets, these are different wallets that you can use to secure your crypto. We're going to be going through the Trust Wallet, and we'll be using that as well as Ledger Wallet, MyEther Wallet as well for the Neon network. But these are, it's yours. It's self-custody. No one else controls it, okay? Third-party custody are these guys. It's not safe. If they collapse, your coins go with them. If a third-party government agency wants information, they give it and roll over quick. So what does the future look like? It's bright. It's going to be haves and have-nots. What side are you going to be on? So CoinZoom is a fiat on-ramp. You go to CoinZoom, you'll be able to go in, download your wallet. You also have Trust Wallet. I want you guys to go into the App Store, download those wallets, and that'll be the very first step. Download the wallet, complete the KYC. It'll walk you through the KYC process as soon as you complete the process, all right? But you go to CoinZoom in the App Store, all right? They're gonna give you a debit card, all right? You can buy Bitcoin from Cash App, send the Bitcoin to CoinZoom to pay for the debit card, all right? But you are able to spend your crypto without selling it. It's extremely powerful. You also have an exchange that you can use. So it's revolutionizing the way that we operate and deal with money. So this is the last slide. I'll end it with this. Multi-layer security protection, cold storage assets held by institutional quality custodians. It's insured with over 100+ million in insurance, multi-sig wallets, multi-factor authentication. I mean, I can go on and on. So that's what's in store for you guys. The grass is greener on the other side. Hopefully you'll be here with us for the ride. Any questions before I close?
Hold on. Before we do the question thing, how many, Wall Street.
I'm here.
All right, go ahead. Anybody have any questions for Mr. Wall Street?
Yeah, what if the Cash App doesn't allow you to change currency with Bitcoin?
It only is probably not allowing you because you didn't do the KYC. If it rejects you, then you can just use a different wallet. And almost every crypto wallet allows you to buy crypto with your bank or debit card.
Wait, say that again?
If it doesn't allow you, you can use another wallet. Most all crypto wallets give you the ability to buy crypto with your bank account or debit card. But keep in mind, the moment that you connect your debit card or your bank account to your wallet, you lose anonymity and privacy.
Okay, got you. Thank
you. Yeah.
Let's take 3 more.
What? I'm sorry. What apps were we supposed to download? I know you said CoinZoom, and what was the other, like the wallet?
Trust Wallet.
Okay.
And finish your KYC. It's simple, guys. It's the same as Cash App KYC. If you do that now, you'll be ready for Neon when it launches.
Explain what KYC is.
Know your customer. And if you guys know anything about like our people in group economics and like just like the numbers back in the day and what all these money wheels have created, imagine all of them coming to our ecosystem, because we're the first to create something like this that's suitable for these susus and these money wheels. And, you know, when you guys see that you can spend the money seamlessly without any, red tape, I mean, it'll bring more and more and more people, and you get paid off the people that you're bringing in because they're placed under you based on how the matrix is structured.
2 more questions.
Mr. Walsh, what's the advantage of having more than one wallet? Is there a way that we should distribute our coins in the wallet, or does it matter?
Like, so I would say the advantage of having more than one wallet is just like being able to be secure and knowing that if one wallet goes down, you can the other wallet. I have like 3 wallets just mainly for the benefits that they afford. You'll also maybe need multiple because some wallets will not have, you know, all the coins that you, while others do.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
One more.
I have a question. Since I'm not used to this, what do you mean that a wallet can go down?
The wallet can go down in terms of like the app itself. You still have access to the wallet on the blockchain, but the app itself can go down. And the reasons that you use the wallet can be gone, like the user functionality and maybe features and stuff like that. Does that make sense? So you'll still have access to your wallet, but you know, the reasons why you use that wallet may change.
One more.
And guys, it's been 10 years since blockchain's been out, maybe a little longer, and it's never been hacked. Now, how can a wallet get hacked? Well, a wallet can get hacked by being careless, someone accessing your private key. So there's a way that I go about storing my private keys. When I get my private keys, which is a 12 key mnemonic phrase, 12-word key mnemonic phrase, I take it, I write it down, and then I put it in my safe. And it's never on a network. I don't take a picture of it. I don't store it anywhere. So the only way that you can actually get my private keys is if you got access to my safe. So it's, and then when you have multi-sig, you can have 2 devices that have to authenticate each other. So there's no hack in it, guys, especially if you take the steps necessary to keep everything secure and offline on a cold storage wallet.
I have a question. Is there a tip sheet that we can get access to? Because I'm really confused about how this whole process works in general.
I would say, so when you think about the process, it's no different than Cash App, right? And it's no different than sending a text message. So if you combine the way that you use Cash App and the way you send text messages, it's going to be exactly like that. It's just except on different systems. So it will be similar to going from PayPal to Cash App, you know, or going from, you know, Amazon to eBay. They're different systems that kind of serve the same purpose. Once you kind of get used to the different nuances, you know, it becomes very easy. So it's not as challenging as it looks.
This information, it was a wealth of knowledge that you provided. How do we translate this into how we're going to be using this for the $1,400 transfer? Or is it going to be a separate class for that?
Actually, hold on, let me pull up. I actually have the presentation on
I wanted to go up there on Wednesday.
Hold on one second. I can actually just show, it's like one level. Hold on. Because I know a lot of you guys are probably curious as to how it will work. So this breaks it down. Okay. Let me use this here. I'm gonna blow it up. So basically, this is an older presentation. It's going to be changed to say dollars, right? So the way that it works is it's $20, $40, $80, $160, etc. It just keeps doubling. All right. So when you look at each board, you think of each board, each planet as a board, right? And each board has a different buy-in. So instead of it being 1,400 for, you know, the whole thing, you have levels where it starts at 20 and goes all the way up to around like 5,000, I think 700 something, if I'm not mistaken. But you can't just go straight here. In order to get up here, you have to have a seat on each planet. So that means for those of you that are coming in with the $1,500, I guess, investment, because that's the buy-in that you put on, you know, the current ecosystem that you're in now, it would just be broken up till that 1,500 is spread on the passport cost for each planet. So I think you end up with about 4 or 5 seats, and then it cycles. The beautiful thing is you're profiting immediately So as soon as someone comes in and is put onto the board, you're in water. You're not waiting for, you to go outside the board all the way to the inside. It's your board. And when people come onto that cruise ship with you, the moment they come on, you're being paid. If it's tiered where it's in levels, you're getting paid out on a daily basis, on a regular basis.
Can I ask one last question?
Mm-hmm.
And thank you for your time. You mentioned earlier that once you connect this to your debit card, you lose your privacy. Privacy with whom? Is it the banks who's gonna be able to see? Who would be able to see your transaction in terms of you connecting it to your debit card?
Let's say the powers that be in any 3-letter agency that will be on the other side of the court table. Does that make sense? So
somewhat.
We're talking about, I don't want to use their names because they're copyrighted.
Sure, I understand.
But
yes,
I mean, they don't have to be bad guys or on your bad side, but when you make money that they can't access or get their cut off of that they feel that they should get, then they start making problems for us. I'm going to tell you that there is no regulation on crypto. There is no jurisdiction for crypto. It's unclassified. So the tax is still unclear. Now, I'm not a tax advisor, not a tax attorney. I'm not here to give you tax advice. I believe in paying Uncle Sam his fair share and not a penny more. With that being said, I damn sure I'm not about to pay money on something that ain't got no clear regulation, that is not even in their goddamn locale. Excuse my language. Might as well be on another planet.
All right, so I want to thank Mr. Wall Street for taking the time out to.
I hope you guys are closer than further. I hope I didn't just go too far over everybody's head.
Well, it's gonna be a process, and I think some people are much further than others, and then some people are gonna catch up, and it's gonna be a process that we're gonna go through all together. And if we got to keep revisiting certain points, then that's what we got to do. That's how you learn. But it's definitely going to be a process for people. But I think over time, even the traditional method, has been a process for some of us to learn. So
yep.
We got to take the time to do it. And now that we have a group and a team and expert mentors and coaches and advisors, like we're not in this by ourselves. We're not in this by ourselves. So we have questions. Now we're able to ask them. We have platforms weekly where we're able to ask our questions. Even switching over to Neon is going to be a process because we're used to doing and creating the group economics that we've been doing for the last 2 months. We're used to doing that a whole nother way. We've developed in our mind. We know if we put in this, we're going to get this. We know if we put our money in the bank, what we're going to get. We know if we put our money in the stocks, we don't know. It's up and down, but we've created. We took the time to understand that process. So Neon is going to be a process to understand. That's not going to happen today. That's not going to happen Wednesday. That's going to happen with continued education and continued mentoring and continued coaching, which I am giving you access to. The people around me, the top 10 people around me are very wealthy. The top 10 people around me are experts in their industry. And those are the people that I bring around you to teach you. Most people don't have access to millionaires. Most people don't have access to people that like Mr. Wall Street that normally charge tens of thousands of dollars for their coaching platforms and for their classes and for their mentorships programs. So we've got to take, I watched the numbers doing this whole thing. We stayed at the same number the whole time. So I know that those of you that are here for because you want to learn, because you want to grow, and because you want to understand. You might not have it all right now, but I guarantee you over time, If you take the time, I guarantee you, this time next month, you'll be stronger. You have more knowledge. This time in 2 months, you'll have more knowledge. This time in a year, you'll be unstoppable. This time in 5 years, nobody will be able to touch you. So it's a process. And again, like when we're riding a bike, we might keep falling down the first few times, but eventually we're going to get it and it's going to make sense. When Mr. Wall Street brought this to me, I didn't understand it. We had gotten into this thing, and it has stressed me out because you can't find a solution to something that's infinite. So when Mr. Wall Street brought this to me, I just started studying day in, day out, just studying. And everything he told me, it made sense because I studied. I watched videos all night long. I read all night long. I searched. I tried to obtain as much information so that when the next time I had a conversation with him, I was prepared. I could have easily shut him down and said, "Hey, I don't understand this. I'm gonna stick to what we've been doing." And we would be in a world of trouble if that was the case.
I have a question.
So give me 1 second. 1 second, please. So the 2 most valuable assets that you can own, can somebody give me those? The 2 most valuable assets that you can have.
Stocks and real estate.
No. Time and knowledge.
Right here.
Time and knowledge. Please write that down. That's not because those are 2 things that you have right now and that you have access to right now. It's time, it's something we can't get back, and knowledge is something that you have access to. So time and knowledge are the most valuable assets that you have, and you have to utilize them. It's the same. No, I just told you guys earlier. Millionaires and billionaires, they're not any smarter than y'all. Shannon, Cheryl, Billy, Sade, Jill, they're not any smarter than y'all. But they've learned how to leverage their time and the knowledge that they have. So we're looking for more money. We don't need more money, y'all. We need to learn how to manage our time and get more knowledge. Go ahead with the question, then we got to go.
I'm just trying to understand the process, how it relates to the $1,400 boards. So those who already have spots on the boards, they're just going to be watered with the cryptocurrency, or will we have some money to start with since we already have a spot on the board?
Right now we're building the technology. I'm doing what I told you guys that I was going to do, is start educating you in crypto and letting you know which wallets to download. Many of you signed up for IME. IME has a great educational platform which you guys have been utilizing. I don't want to get into that process right now of how it's going to help us, but just know that it's going to help us. And when I come and I give you guys, you'll already have your wallet, you'll understand. But I guarantee you, anyone that is in the system, when I come to you or we come to you with the new system, it will benefit those of you that are in the system the most.
Okay, thank you.
That makes sense. But if I get into this and we don't have everything laid out, then it's not going to make any sense to you. All I'm asking you to do is count. And again, at first I said it's mandatory. Now I'm saying it's optional. So if you want to stay over here on the board that has slowed down, then that's optional. If you want to move over with us in something that's going to continue to bring you residuals every single day for the rest of your life, then that's optional. So again, this is the solution to a system that is infinite, because what we're doing now is infinite. So it's going to keep growing and multiplying, and the faster we move, it's going to multiply and grow. So that's infinite. Every board, we're in the process of talking about, I know people have questions about other things, but Wealth Church is not to talk about the boards. I'm giving you the tools that you need to help you to get to another level. On Wednesday at 4 o'clock Pacific time and 7 o'clock Eastern time, you can ask me any question about the transfer group. So, but I want to make sure that through this process today, we were supposed to be talking about digital assets. I want to make sure you understand digital assets. That's going to be very intricate into us going into a new dimension, even in the transfer group, in life, in investing, in teaching our kids. All those things tie together. So again, if you guys rock with me, I know that I'm giving you the tools that you need that's going to take you to a higher level outside of the $1,400 board or the $2,500 board or the $700 board, the $300 board. I know a lot of you have gotten consumed with that, but over time, the knowledge and the time that you have is going to take you to a high, because now you're going to know what to do. You've learned about compounding interest. You've learned about we met Latadia last week in Las Vegas, who joined my program 2 years ago. And now she's getting ready. She just built a $4 million property, 25,000 square feet, and she's gonna make $6 million because of she leveraged time and the knowledge that she received. So we've got it, and the relationships, which is very important. So I understand that, you know, some of us are consumed with what we can see, but I started this whole Wealth Church out by showing you that we have to have faith in what we can't see. And what we can't see is, how do we end up in this group at this designated time with these group of people on a Zoom on Sunday at 5 o'clock Pacific time, 8 o'clock Eastern time, learning about wealth. So again, I'll see you guys on Wednesday. I want to end this out with, I want to give away $1,000, $1,000. I was supposed to give it away last week and forgot. Didn't think about it till I was exercising. I want to give away $1,000 scholarship to a single mother or single father. The prerequisite of this scholarship, and this is to my credit club. I know some of you are trying to buy a house, but I'm asking you not to buy the house. I'm asking you to use the money that you're ready to get for that house, and I'm asking you to use that money for income producing property instead. That's all I'm asking you to do. Eventually you can get that house. Eventually, but I'm asking you, if you get into my no more renting program, that you use it to flip it and allow people to now rent from you so that you can pay your rent. All right. So prerequisite is the first person that can tell me that. Now let's just do 1, 2, 3, 4. So in the group chat, the first 5 people, I'm gonna give it to you. Do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, Damon, you're a coach. Why are you in here, brother? You're a coach. And if you've been through my club, you don't need to be doing this. You have great credit. Some of you just want free stuff. If you're on my team, why are you doing this? Y'all something else. All right. Karen, get the first five people. Cheryl's on the team. Cheryl does not need the scholarship. Ty, Moore, Nakia. It should be, we got to do it fair. Whoever the next 3 is, I think Stacy is a coach too. And Jill, you've already been through the program. What Let's do, Karen, give me 5 people. I'm giving $5,000 scholarship. I mean, $1,000 each person. My last thing, so Karen will be reaching out to you guys to get you guys set up. My last thing is, a lot of you said that you were giving to Tia's, and Karen got your name last week in the meeting. Even if you're new here, we're helping Tia to move out of a domestic violence shelter and move her to Houston, giving her the support that she needs in Houston. If you can send your donation to Karen and just mark it Tia, for Tia in the notes, that will go to helping her to make that transition. We're gonna pay her rent for a year and help her to get a car and help her with her children. So I know that some of you had committed to obligation. We want to start collecting that because we are about to transition her from New York into Houston, Texas, where she will have a huge support system. Azim and JD and their wives and Thomas and their families, they have all, taken the responsibility to embrace Tia. And myself and my team as well, we've committed to a certain amount of money towards this fund. So I know that some of you had committed to it. I'm just giving you where to send your money. I'll be asked. It's Karen Lloyd, KARYN LLOYD, and that's on Cash App. All right, if you want to send that now, that's fine, or you can send it later. But we need to raise $30,000, and that will go all to Tia's 1-year transition, which we've committed to. And we've committed to helping her get the support, the love, and the embracing of what I want to help her start her own business. We've talked about that. And Azim has a job for her. She's going through therapy. We've been through all of that, but for those of you that she's going to commit to therapy. So for those of you that have, I told Tia, I said, and some of you, when people come to you or you want to help people, you got to give them a stipulation. And I told Tia, I said, we will help you. We will surround you. We will give you everything that you need. I'm just asking that you commit to getting therapy and focusing on the hurt so that you do not shift this over to your kids, because this is an injustice if we give you a bunch of money and your kids still end up hurt by the pain that you have endured in your life. And I've even had to commit to that myself, is that we cannot continue to transfer hurt from generation to generation. We cannot continue to transfer poverty from generation to generation. We've got to stop it. And this is the generation where we got to stop that generational curse. We got to deal with it. We don't have the power to deal with it. I know some of us that come from church, well, I just turn it over to God and he's going to handle it. We got to learn how to talk about it. We were taught in our houses, what's done at home stays at home. You don't talk about it, but that's not true. We got to be able to talk about it. We got to be able to know when those triggers come, how do we deal with it? Do we go drink? Do we go smoke? Do we go snort? Do we go have sex? What do we do when those triggers come that make us feel like we felt when we were 6 years old and we was hurt? We got to learn that. And I told T, I said, I'm rocking with you. The team is rocking with you. Wealth Church is rocking with you. Azim is rocking. All of us are rocking with you, but you got to get help. You got to get help, and you got to learn how to deal with that pain. You got to learn how to talk about that pain. You got to learn that you can't block people out of your life because somebody didn't do what they were supposed to do 20 years ago. They not go do it. They not go do it. But God sends new people with new, I call them new angels into our life all the time. And when we block them out because of the past pain, we can't move forward. Even in relationships, we can't move forward. So again, thank you guys for supporting Tia and helping in whether it's prayers, or those of you that have reached out, or those of you that have encouraged her, or those of you that have sent money, or whatever you've done. But at the end of the day, we all have to sweep at our own front door. We got to do it. And we can't make all this money talking about we millionaires and and not go back and reach and get the people that we left behind. We can't do that. All right. I'll never do that. I don't care how many millions I make, or how many houses I have, or how many extravagant parties I do, or how many yachts I rent out. I don't care how many $1,000 shoes I wear. There's not a day in time that I'll see somebody without shoes and I won't take my shoes off and give it to them. Ever. So we've got to remain humble, but we've also got to deal with that pain. A lot of us are in pain, and we wear it on our faces, and it comes out in our attitude. Our attitude. We have an attitude against the world because we've been hurt, and our kids pick it up, and then now they take it to their kids and to their kids. So we got to reinvent that. All right. So this is the longest Wealth Church we've had. So I'll see you guys on Wednesday. Thank you guys for all the payments and the support that you shared towards Tia. I'll give that again on Wednesday. We got to raise $30,000, y'all. I'm committing to 7. All right. My team has committed to a lot as well. So just know that I need for each one of you to make the commitment to start your investment journey. You cannot be wealthy. Let's be clear. You cannot be wealthy until you get to a point to where your money is making money for you in your sleep. If not, you will continue to work for the rest of your life. I know what we think. If we work and we work triple time, we work overtime, and we work all these different times that for some reason we think that we're creating wealth. We're not. So thanks, Mr. Wall Street, today. Thanks for those of you that joined us. And I want to end off with us doing affirmations again. Those of you that didn't do them earlier, the truth is, I want you to tell me what your truth is. Karen, you got your 5 people that got scholarships and their information. Reach out to Karen, because once I end this, we're going to lose all the information. So make sure you reach out to Karen if you got one of the scholarships. She's going to let you know, because some of you do not qualify for that. Y'all credit is great. Y'all have American Expresses. So we got to give it to people that really need it. All right. So the truth is, I'm going to start with my truth. The truth is, Demont, is that you will attract people that are like-minded into your life, and you will help them to get to a higher level. The truth is that men that have felonies, and men that are suicidal, and women that are suicidal, and women that have made mistakes in life will be attracted to your life, Demont, and you will help transform their lives. You will help transform their finances. You will help transform their children. You will help transform their grandchildren. You will help transform their bank accounts. And the truth is, Demont, you will not die until you have accomplished everything that God has for you. Somebody, 5 more people, give me your truth.
The truth is, I'm trying to find the referral code token for CoinZoom, and if anyone can help out, I'd appreciate it.
That's her truth.
I'm with her.
Hey, give me 5 more. I need the truth is, because I'm energized by y'all speaking over your life. The truth is I'm committed to abundant life. I'm committed to making this a better organization. I'm committed. I'm excited. The truth is I want to do everything I can to make this community, our community, the Black community, a wealthy, generational community. The truth is.
Knowledge is the key.
Yes. 3 more. The truth is, I walk around my house all day long talking about my truth. So do you know why doors open up for me? Do you know why doors open up for me? It's because I speak over my truth. My truth is not that I am going to be a product of my environment. My truth is not that I'm going to be like my father. My truth is that I'm going to work for somebody else to build their dream for the rest of my life and then die. Still have dreams. That's not my truth. Give me 3 more. The
truth is I will use my time to better myself with the knowledge that has been given to me and pass it down to my kids, and their kids, and those that are around me.
2 more. The truth is.
Truth is, I don't have to count on a man for me to make a living or be successful anymore. Do it on my own.
The truth is,
go ahead.
The truth is, I will be a better man and then get up from where I was born. And to this day, I will be the first one in my family so they can count on. The truth is, I want to see you and sit down with you, Damon.
You will. I'm coming to Baltimore next week. The truth is,
Right.
you gotta hit me up. We gonna meet. Hey, so I appreciate you guys for speaking over your lives. You got to believe that. You got to believe it. And you got to speak over your kids' life and your son's life. I was a product of my environment. Really, I should be dead. Not talking to y'all. I should be in prison. I should be dead. Or I should be strung out on drugs. So you got to speak over your sons and your husbands and your nephews. You got to believe in them. You got to believe in your daughters and your granddaughters and your nieces. You can't give up on them, y'all. We got to keep speaking the truth. The truth is that my son will never see a jail cell. The truth is that my son will never go to prison. The truth is that my son will not be a product of his environment. All right. So we got to speak those things, because if we don't believe it, if we don't say it, the Bible says that the power of life and death is in our tongue. So we got the power to speak over our lives. I have a friend right now in stage 4 cancer. I got to go to Baltimore, Maryland this week. The truth is that he will be healed in the name of Jesus, and he will not die of that infirmity. I'm believing that. Somebody on this call, I know who you are. You have cancer. The truth is you will not die and leave your kids alone. The truth is you can be healed. The truth is you will be healed. All right, I love y'all. I'm done. I'm done. Because I'm about to go in. I love y'all.